The Enterprise is on its way to Penthara 4, where a Type C asteroid has struck an unpopulated continent.
Like a Type C USB?
Not unlike the nuclear winters of 21st century Earth.
Nuclear winters? Oh no. When are those coming? Pretty soon, I guess.
We got about 75 years to find out.
Let's take a look at Mr. Worf's distortion.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Worf's what? There's a small object back there that wasn't there a few moments ago.
The object is 50 kilometers ahead, sir.
About to say, you're about to run into it.
They want you to move over, sir.
The Enterprise isn't going anywhere, Lieutenant.
Not the Enterprise.
Not the Enterprise, Captain. You.
What are you trying to tell me, Mr. Worf?
Whoops. Excuse me, Captain, but you were standing right where I needed to be.
I thought he was Jim Carrey for a second.
Sounds like him.
Oh, this is wonderful. Actually, quite a bit larger than I thought.
Give me Dollar Tree Jim Carrey.
I've traveled back nearly 300 years just to find you.
Okay, interesting concept.
That is interesting.
All right, so tell me, how many seasons do we last on the air? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but...
Yeah, what if they had a fourth wall-breaking character?
You know, it was always believed this was on your desk, not here. Fascinating. 6, 7 meters. Ha! I was right.
This is like uncanny, right?
Yeah, uncanny.
Like, it's Jim Carrey.
It's Jim Carrey,
when
yeah.
did he become famous? I'm looking it up. So, Jim Carrey's first big hit, Ace Ventura, was in '94.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I know he did stand-up before that, but it's like, is this guy just, by coincidence, exactly like him?
I've examined his credentials, and everything seems to be in order, so I think we should extend to him every courtesy.
Picard didn't buy Ardra for a second, but he's buying this guy? I don't buy this guy. I don't buy this guy.
How would you know what 26th century credentials were?
Like running across a Redstone missile or a Gutenberg Bible. To think, the Model T of androids.
Oh, the Model T.
Would I be correct, Professor, in assuming that you know whether or not I am still alive in the 26th century?
Always data. Always.
Since you seem to know so much about Captain Picard and the ship, I assumed you
Would
would...
it be best if you kept your assumptions to yourself?
Don't mess with data, man. You'll get hot Alex.
We have arrived at Penthara 4 and can see for ourselves the atmospheric devastation.
Have we ever seen him in snow? Like,
I
the
guess
crew out
not.
in snow?
The one shot of the big goodbye where it turns to snow in the holodeck for a moment. Also, when Wesley runs out of the holodeck. Only in the holodeck, I think.
2 rivers, tropical rivers, are beginning to freeze.
We'd better get started before there's nothing left to mend.
This guy part Vulcan?
Because of his eyebrow.
Yeah.
I hate questionnaires.
Professor, come and join us.
Damn it, Beverly.
History always records where people were, what they were doing, when important events took place.
Are you suggesting that an important event is imminent?
I didn't say that now, did I, please? Just go on doing what you're doing and
Worf asking the right questions.
how everyone has different interests when it comes to history, different perspectives on progress.
Oh.
What is going on?
He views history through the eyes of a hunter, a warrior. His passion lies in the perfection of the tools of violence.
All right.
You're gonna fight this guy. Oh man, he's so much. He's too much.
Our scans were all clear, and Mosley says there hasn't been so much as a quiver down there in well over a century.
Aha! Just the two I'm looking for. Right though.
Can't have a damn conversation without this guy popping up.
Gentlemen.
Oh shit.
Who said these moments were any less exciting when you know the outcome?
When at your job, you get like a new hire and they're really annoying, and you're like, I hope they don't make it. Like, I hope they get let go.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to confuse us, misdirect us somehow.
There you are!
Bro loves the camera.
Good, because we'll never see him again once Jim Carrey shows up.
Buck up, crewman. You're a credit to that uniform.
I mean, come on. I need to know the history here. Something happened.
We're birds of a feather. We're colleagues.
I don't trust you.
At least someone's giving him the business.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank you, Troy.
Why don't you try a bare light scan? I'd be interested to see what his micro levels are.
He's also getting too close to everybody with his crane neck, you know what I mean?
His crane neck.
Put the gif of Kurt Angle headbutting Samoa Joe. That's what I want to do to this guy. You know, if he tries to talk to me.
I understand, but you're different. You're more vibrant.
I could be your great, 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 great grandmother.
True. He'd probably know that, though.
Yeah.
Biggest sleazeball.
Captain, I'm detecting a massive earthquake on the surface.
I do like how in this one it's almost like the external plot is like the distraction. Like as if like this wasn't going on, they'd be able to just focus on this guy, but it's like, oh, gotta deal with this shit.
Yeah.
If our phaser discharge is off by as little as 0.06 terawatts, we would completely burn off the planet's atmosphere.
Are you saying we could start a chain reaction that would start the end of the world? I believe we have, sir.
When I came to you with those calculations. I remember that well. What of it? I believe we did. What the fuck are they talking about?
Your presence gives me potential access to a kind of information that I've never had available to me before.
He's a fraud, bro.
How can you be comfortable watching people die?
Ooh.
What if one of those people grew
Yes,
up?
Professor, I know. What if one of those lie who grows up to be the next Adolf Hitler or Khan Singh?
Khan mentioned?
But you must see that if I were to influence you, everything in this sector, in this quadrant of the galaxy could change.
You've already changed too much, bro.
I can't get quite as worked up as you over the fate of some colonists who, for me, have been dead a very, very long time.
No right to interfere in the natural evolution of alien worlds. I have disregarded that directive on more than one occasion.
At least you can admit it.
And isn't it possible that you have an occasion here to make an exception to?
Just talking about a choice, it sounds to me like you're trying to manipulate the future.
But every choice we make allows us to manipulate the future. You know, Professor, perhaps I don't give a damn about your past because your past is my future. And as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't been written yet.
And I don't want your future.
That's the guy from he's in that scene.
Sorry.
God, if I ever got that look from Picard, I just... That's how I know I failed in life.
I've never been one to play it safe. I choose to try.
Kills millions of people.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Well. Oh!
What?
What is this? If the Enterprise could scream.
Still breathing, Captain.
We've got particulate levels right where they're supposed to be. Getting in the habit of thanking you, Picard.
It's nearly time for me to go. I am tickled pink to have had the opportunity of witnessing this, Picard.
Okay.
We're not going to let this guy go, are we? Yeah, let's have... Oh! The head nod. Something's up. Come on. Get this asshole.
Afraid we're going to have to take a look inside your vessel.
You can't be serious, Picard. We've been through this more than
A
once.
number of objects have been discovered missing.
Oh.
I'm sure they'll turn up.
If you will not open the vessel, I will, with explosives.
Oh.
But what if he takes data?
Yeah. No peeking in. Trying to see.
I do not believe any of these items belong to you, Professor.
Nor does this. This phaser is set at the highest stun setting.
Tina, just choke him out.
You see, in the century I come from, they haven't even been invented yet.
From the past?
Oh, this is a time pod, and it is from the 26th century. At least, that's what the poor fellow said.
What?
I assume your handprint will open this door, whether you are conscious or not.
That weapon was working yesterday.
You will find all of the missing items in the vessel, sir.
I've got to get back. I don't belong here.
Yep, he's cooked now. He's stuck there.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to the 24th century.
Oh.
Okay, all right. I was kind of hoping for a punch there, but that's all right.
Well, you know what I got to say, Alex?
What's up?
Bring on Star Trek 6. D.
I gave it a B for bad haircut. So, this is my wallet. I've had this since 2021. I bought it on eBay, I think after The Mandalorian Season 2 came out because I needed a new one. But, done with that because I got this new wallet. Look at that Star Trek black with yellow trim wallet right there. And I was really excited to show this after we saw the Spock episodes. But then after this episode, I feel kind of ashamed.
You want to crawl back and grab the Mando one?
No,
back
I still don't want that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get something else. But yeah, I gave this one a B because I don't know. I felt pretty high off of Picard's speech to the guy about the Prime Directive and this trying to convince this guy to tell him what to do because allegedly he knew what happened in the future. But after thinking about it, I think I hate this episode.
Yeah, so clearly change of clothes. So it's been a couple of days, and I gave it a D when we first watched it. And I feel the same, and not only do I feel the same, I've basically forgotten the bulk of the episode, didn't want to rewatch it, and I'll give the positives for it right off the bat. You mentioned the Picard speech. It felt like a Season 1 episode Picard speech where it's like, oh, this episode's not good, but that speech had, there's something to that. Good writing, good performance about that. But then when I continue to think about the context of the episode, I really don't like how Picard acts here. We'll get into that. And then secondly, the twist ending. He's not really from the future, but he is a time traveler from the past who stole the ship of a time traveler. That's a neat concept. In a better episode, that could have been really well done. But here I unfortunately was already so out on the episode that having that really cool twist ending, didn't blow my mind. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, that's neat, and it's such a cool twist that I wish it was in a better episode.
Yeah, same here. This was directed by Paul Lynch, who also directed 1100, 1001, and The Naked Now. And then that Season 2 episode with Pulaski where everyone gets old. So I don't know if they saw that and go, you know what? You know who was really good? That guy. I mean, he hasn't been here since Season 2, and there was nothing really of substance of this one to go like, oh, yeah. This guest character, Jim Carrey, was just in every single scene where we had literally no time to breathe. And the fact that our crew and this guy can infiltrate the Enterprise. This is like the top tier ship. And like Picard, called out Ardra right away. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. But this guy's like, oh, everything checks out. And it's like, oh yeah, here's a run of everything. And even Troy, whose entire gimmick is that can sense, deception or what someone's feeling. And she's like, oh, I don't trust you. But then go to Picard and say, yeah, this guy's lying. This guy's trying to deceive us.
She definitely is his only op on the ship. I think maybe Riker was also skeptical of him. But I understand that Picard is flattered because the way this guy presents it. is, oh, I'm from the future. We will want to come back and look at interesting people. And, you know, he makes allusions to very famous people in the past. So that would make Picard feel good. Like, oh, he's comparing me to these people. And while I understand that would have an effect on anybody, to make that completely disarm Picard, it was definitely a bit of a stretch, a bit much to be like, oh, I'm totally bought in. It was one of those where our characters had to like work around the plot for it to make sense, and that's like one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Now, unless this guy, also, whoever this 22nd century time traveler was, must have been the biggest fucking idiot of all time to allow this guy to, you know, steal his ship or kill him or whatever happened. My only guess is that this ship was already lined up to go here, and all the documents and logs and proof of like, hey, this is real, was already exist, and this guy just showed it to it. But none of these security cameras or anything caught this guy stealing anything at all.
Yeah, the whole security camera thing is obviously a meme, and it's just like, whatever. And then they also even say at the end, like, oh, if you hadn't have stolen so much, we wouldn't have noticed. It's like, okay, well, that's still not good. You wouldn't have noticed? Like, if it was less stuff? I feel like if someone steals one thing on the Enterprise, it should be a pretty big deal.
If one thing misses, like, today in the real world, it's like DEFCON 5. You know what I mean? The fact that he got as far as he did is crazy.
And it was always the most ridiculous, like, the character just looks away and he like puts it in his pocket. Like it's not like he was in these rooms alone. You know, he was like talking to people. Yeah, just overall very unbelievable. You brought up the Jim Carrey thing, and like I don't think I've seen a more spot on comparison to someone who like this took place before Jim Carrey was big. So I don't know if that was just an acting style multiple people, you know, had, and Jim Carrey was the one that rose to the top, you know, deservedly so because of his talent. But he didn't, you know, Ace Ventura was his big break. He was working before that, but that was 94. This was 91. So for, you know, 3 years before that
Was he on SNL at this point?
He may have been. Again, I don't know his full career of when any of that was, but for this guy to, when he beamed into the ship, I actually thought it was Jim Carrey, like before he said anything, from his mannerisms and just like a quick look at it, I'm like, okay, no, that's not Jim Carrey. But like for me to immediately pick that up and then him to follow that by acting exactly like him, I don't know. There's something weird about it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Either this is like a substance situation and Jim Carrey just like took over this guy's life, or something happened where Jim Carrey docks this guy and it's like, hey, I'm going to take your spot in life. I'm going to take your career. I'll give you BFG and a role in the Dawn of the Dead remake, but you better back off.
Yeah, I did see that, you know, the guy's had a fine career. It's not like he acted in this and then it's just one credit. Yeah, you know, he had plenty of credits, so I mean, good for him, I guess. But I actually did see that this role was made for Robin Williams, who begged to be on TNG, and then when they wrote this for him, he was busy making Hook, so he couldn't do it. So then they got this guy. Imagine if it had been Robin Williams. That would have been crazy.
I probably would have been more disarmed and charmed because this guy was not charmable or likable at all. But Robin Williams has that ability to charm anyone. He's one of my favorite actors. He's like one of the few who died. I was wrecked for like weeks.
I mean, imagine even just the pop when he shows up.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that'd been crazy.
I never would have known because Robin Williams has been in so many things. This could have slipped through the cracks, and I would have believed it. But
you brought up Robin Williams' charm. I think this guy's lack of charm showed most when he was trying to flirt with Dr. Crusher. And I almost felt bad because they like almost made Dr. Crusher like play into it a little bit, like she wasn't completely repulsed. I'm not saying the guy looks repulsive, but it just like, again, I'm glad they didn't go any further with that, because if they had something happen, I wouldn't have bought that at all. I mean, the guy was just creepy and just like sleazy the whole time. I mean, we see that he's stealing stuff and everything. Other people aren't seeing that, but just the way he acts and like he's so close on people, it's like, stop.
And the fact that Crusher didn't really like, you know, shut him down with like a nice cold line. It was just, I could be your great, you know, it's like, I don't know, like the less use of Crusher is really showing. It's like, what is she doing now?
She's really fallen off,
yeah,
like really bad, to the point where, you know, it's like twofold, both the writing for her and then also her performances. Like, I don't want to blame her too much because she's not given anything. Like, she hasn't been given really a single thing this season that I can think of. Like, maybe I'm not remembering, but we're 9 episodes in, and like, she had one plot line.
They just shoehorn her into scenes just to say a line of dialogue to help push things forward. And that's it. It's like, oh yeah, Crusher's here.
Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, obviously, I've been a huge fan of that character and Gaze McFadden, but like at this point in this season, she's one of the biggest fall offs for me. To where I don't know, is that going to be the rest of the show with her? Are they just done? Like she got her episode last season, and it's like, all right, even when Wesley came back, I mean, I guess she had a little bit of a bigger role with getting hypnotized, but that was such a crazy, weird episode that it doesn't even matter. So yeah, that's really about all I have to say for this one. Honestly, good speech with Picard is fine, and twist ending was cool. Beyond that, I don't care. Now for you, like you said, you gave us a B for bad haircut, but do you want to officially re-rate it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with you. I'll give it a D.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care. At first I'm like, oh well, that was nice. I'm like, I know I hate this episode. I just can't believe that. Oh yeah, sure. And the whole like, yeah, that no one was like how huge this is with time travel with messing things up. Oh yeah, sure. We'll fill out these things for you. I don't know. I just don't buy it. How everyone was just disarmed by this guy. Where they're still like, I don't know. And it was also the guy deserved the punch. He needed a punch. And especially when Data dropped that line where it's like, you don't need to be conscious to unlock the door, do you? And I don't care how goofy it was. I needed a comical, throw out the door type moment or something. And it's just like, this guy deserved more than...
Or Data carrying him like this, unconscious, as he leaves the show.
Yeah, or even just over the shoulder. Just something.
And then he could throw the guy down and he could come back for the last scene. For his comeuppance, yeah, absolutely, I agree. And but I guess for both of us, so this though would be saved from being an E grade by you just because of those couple of factors.
Just because of Picard's speech, yeah. I love the whole Prime Directive's speech and Picard killing it and just trying to convince this guy like it's like, hey, I've broken the Prime Directive as well, and it's like now it's your turn to do that. And this guy, like, well.
Yeah, the story was actually so bad that it makes me almost want to give it an E because I am going to completely forget about this episode and it might as well be erased from canon. The Picard speech is good, but for me, what more so saves it is that twist ending. If he had just been a fraud and that's it, probably E. But I'll give them the writing. I think it was Brandon. What's his name? That guy's name? Brandon Braga or whatever his name is.
Hold up.
Might have also been Rick Berman on this one, too.
Written by Rick Berman, yeah, and staff writer Brandon Braga, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Braga and Rick Berman. I'll give them the credit there. That's a really cool twist. I just wish it was a better episode around it.
Yeah.
And so the patrons agreed with your original grade of B, 43%, but this one is all over the board. 20% A, 25% C, 10% D. That's definitely the highest D tier there's been this season. Even 1% E votes and 2% S. So there's votes all over the board for this one. This is from John1701. D for dog shit. Hate this episode. I don't know why Picard goes along with this bullshit from the start. Why would you believe him? How can you check futuristic credentials? Horrific guest performance and terrible writing. Makes no sense whatsoever. I won't go E because I haven't watched this in over 30 years and I'm sure there's some redeeming qualities in there. Looking forward to the reaction. Yeah, I would say there are a couple of redeeming ones, but yeah.
All right, that's it. End the video. That's good enough. All right, this one's from Ramen Noodles. I fucking hate this episode so much solely because of the guest star. Generally one of the most bad, unfunny, cringy performances that makes it tied with worst with Code of Honor for my personal series worst. E.
Yeah, and here's two that are directly against each other. This one's from Jeffrey. This episode is a total dud for me. I like the guest star less than you liked Stubbs. And then right below that, Deep Red. About the only positive thing I have about this episode is the guest star. Originally saw him in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, so seeing him here was pretty funny. So that's interesting. I always like when there's two complete opposite reactions about a particular thing in an episode.
Dark Cronus says, gotta say the interior design of the 26th century sucks badly. Perhaps they were traveling through time to get help.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. It was just kind of like a tinfoil look to the inside of it.
Yeah, it was just Ryan Caulfield. This is mostly just a forgettable episode with an annoying guest star, but what really elevates it for me is the ready room scene where Picard asked Rasmussen for help. Some great dialogue and Stewart performance there. What did you guys think of Rasmussen? Worse than Stubbs? That's questions for you.
Stubbs has completely faded away from my memory. Outside of being a meme, I mean, I think I'd have to rewatch that episode again to be reminded why I hated him so much at the time. But in terms of like annoying, yeah, I haven't been more annoyed watching a Star Trek episode in quite a while than with this guy.
Yeah, I physically felt pain watching this guy. I was fine with Stubbs. Like I have no.
Yeah, that was more so me.
Yeah, it was more. Yeah, so this guy is the worst.
The bottom of the barrel for you?
Bottom of the barrel. I'd rather watch Children than this guy.
I'll read a couple of them that were positive. So this one's from Sixto. I assume people find this episode maybe obnoxious, but I like it. It's fun. And the fact that the twist is also fun. I hope it is a B or C for you guys and not lesser. Well, it was, although you'll see Alex give it a B at first and then be much angrier when we transition to the discussion. But yeah, I'll agree. The one thing I will agree with is that, like I said, the twist was fun, and I just wish it was in a better episode because I did not see it coming. So I agree there. This one's from John. This episode is A tier for me. It's entertaining, a little twist to the usual. Planet B has a problem A. We will try to solve it with solution C. This time, there's an audience, and a time traveler from the future provides them with some interesting possibilities. The whole non-interference thing is interesting, and the conclusion is vaguely satisfying. Like I say, I like this episode. It's a good way to relax after the prior episodes, but I don't think it's going to be greatest of all time. I think after the two-parter, I don't see you guys giving this one an S. Well, definitely not an S.
Not an S. I mean, I think about episodes that we've given an A, and it's the level of quality is just, night and day. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
In most episodes where I don't like Star Trek, it's like still good. Like it's still like a good TV episode. It's just not one compared to other Star Trek episodes that I care for. Well, there was one we just disagreed on that everyone
Darmok?
loved. Darmok, right? Like for me personally, that's still like a good episode of TV and everything. It's just compared to other episodes of Star Trek, I don't like that one compared to my other favorite ones. This one just is one of those rare that I just don't think this is a good episode of TV. It's filler, obviously, because it was just put in between Unification and Star Trek 6. It was just like thrown in here. It was literally written for another actor who then couldn't do it, and they did the episode anyway with a lesser actor. It's just one of those that I would rather forget, but like I did say earlier, I had just those couple things that saved it from being E tier, but yeah, I think that's about all I got to say about it.
Season 5 we persevere. Josh and Alex chart the skies, warping forward as chaos flies. Riker's grin, the battle cry. Crusher's brilliance lights the sky. Data's mind a beacon bright. TNG was a relentless spike. Shields up high, we're breaking through. Phasers charge, our aim is true. Moonlight twist, the fire ignites. Boldly onward into the night. Warp factor, chaos engine scream. A voyage built on starlit dreams. Through fire and flame, the cosmos bends. The Enterprise flies, the journey ascends. Warp factor, chaos hearts collide. With every laugh, the stars align. Boldly they go, no end in sight. Season 5 takes flight. Anthe's fall to scorching critique. Virtue speeches reach their peak. Holodeck worlds in turmoil turn. Lessons taught and bridges burned. Refiner's gift, a master's hand. Picard's command, the voice that stands. Through the madness where truth remains. TNG courses through our veins. Warping fast, the time is near. Stories clash as chaos steers. Engines roar, the stars ignite. Boundless journeys, endless fight. Warp factor, chaos engine scream. A voyage built on starlit dreams. Through fire and flame, the cosmos bends. The Enterprise flies, the journey ascends. Warp factor, chaos hearts collide. With every laugh, the stars align. Boldly they go, no end in sight. Season 5 takes flight. Warp factor, chaos engine scream. A voyage built on starlit dreams.